Hello, hello, hello and welcome. Welcome to the Little Likac podcast, episode 49. My name is Amanda and this is a knitting and crochet podcast and I'm coming to you from Derby in the UK. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time viewing, then you are especially welcome. Please stay, see what I've been knitting and working on for the last couple of weeks. And if you're a regular viewer, then thank you so much for keep coming back. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel because that helps the channel get picked up by more viewers, and that would be wonderful. So if you're not already a subscriber, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. So this week I am quite excited. I'm excited for lots of reasons actually. It is February the 12th, 2023. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm excited for lots of reasons. I'm excited because I've got 3 proper finished objects, complete finished objects to show you. I have, what else have I got? I'm off work for a week, so I'm hoping I will get lots of things worked on this week. I'm excited because I've made really good progress on one of my projects. I've completed far more than I had planned to do. I'm excited because I'm taking part in the Mad Stash Dash on Ravelry. I'm excited because I will be doing some yarn dyeing this week while I'm off work. I'm excited because this is episode 49, which means the next episode will be episode 50. So I have got to get some giveaways sorted for that. Yeah, I'll sort out some prizes for that. I am excited because we are doing a whip make along and there's lots of entries for that. So yeah, everything is good in the world of Little Likac as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, thank you for joining me. I keep looking down because Stu, my little furry friend, is in the office with me this afternoon. And you know what it's like when he's in the office. He likes to look outside and see the SQUIRRELS out there, and sometimes he goes mad. I promise if he starts barking crazily, I will edit that out because we have had that issue in the past, haven't we, Stu? Stu? Hey, good boy. You'll be a good boy. Yeah. Right, so let's get on. Let me show you finished objects. I know you can see one there. I'll show him last. Right, first one to show you. It's a hat. Now this was a test knit. Stu, be a good boy. Be a good boy. Good. Right, this is a test knit. This is going to be for my pile of knitted gifts that I'm going to be making this year, knitted or crochet gifts. So this is a test knit for a designer called Cassie LaFollette. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is called the Scrap Happy, and the idea is that you use scrap yarn to do it. Now, to be honest, originally I had planned on holding quite a few strands together. Oh, Stu, I'm going to have to put you out if you're going to be like this. Yeah, originally I was planning on holding quite a few strands together to knit this, but there seemed to be a little bit of confusion about how much you needed yardage wise if you were holding single strands together. So I thought, right, I'm just going to test the pattern itself with a chunky, which is what I used, Stylecraft chunky. I'd got 2 balls of this, 2 50-gram balls of this, and according to the designer's original notes, 2 balls might not have been enough yardage. As it turns out, I only used about 1 1/4 balls, so there's plenty left. I do love this colour. I really love this colour. Ironically, actually, this I have got a coat that this would match really, really well with. I've got a coat that is this colour and has this sort of furry trim around it. But I'm going to give this away. I'm going to give this, it's going to go in a pile of gift knits. So I'm trying to use, this was 2 balls that I had left over from a project from quite a few years ago. And I'm really trying this year to use stash, particularly stuff that I've got in my stash where I've only got 2 or 3 balls left or something, balls that are left over from projects. So either one way or another getting that out of my stash. So yeah, so that is a finished object, and so a few things to let you know about this pattern. It's called the Scrap Happy hat, and Cassie, the designer, is actually giving the pattern away for free if you subscribe to her newsletter. So I'm going to put a link down below. So if you're interested in getting this pattern for free, I'll put a link down below, and if you sign up to her newsletter, she will then send you a coupon that you can use on Ravelry. Otherwise the hat will be $5. That offer is only available through February, so to the 28th of February. If you sign up to a newsletter, you'll get a coupon that you can then use on Ravelry to get this pattern for free. It's a great stash buster. So I used Stylecraft Signature Chunky. I've put a pom-pom on it, which is one of these pom-poms, which I think is so clever, where you just clip it on with a popper so you can take it off if you need to wash the hat. I bought a set of those on Amazon, so I've still got quite a few left over. I feel like I'm going to be knitting more of these hats, having a look what else I've got chunky weight in my stash, and getting through some chunky weight yarn, knitting a load of hats, because it's nice quick. It only took me about 24 hours to do. So yeah, that is a finished object number 1, the Scrap Happy hat. Okay, second finished object. And I actually finished these really quite quickly. I said that I wasn't sure if I would get them finished at the end of January. I didn't, but I think I had them finished by the 2nd or 3rd of Feb. And these are the Painting Brick socks. Painting Brick socks designed by Stephen West. And I have knitted these in, I do know the name of the yarn, and it always goes out of my head. Valley yarns. In the green, and then the pink is a Rosie's Moment special one which glows. I'm going to put a picture up here, or I'll put a picture on the screen in a second, of actually these in the dark, where you can actually see how the yarn glows. So yeah, these are finished. These are part of the the student sock, or the housemate sock project that I'm working on this year. For the next 6 months, and these are completed. The only thing I haven't done is sewn in the ends. There was part of me wondering whether I should get the person that they belong to try them on before I sew in the ends, but anyway, so I've just got the ends to weave in there, and also on the cuffs as well. So yeah, really pleased to get those finished. The second pair of socks that I'm going to do for the housemates is not going to have quite a complicated design as that, but I'll talk about those later. So I will be casting those on in February. So yeah, that is my second completed object for February. Not bad, is it? And I haven't cast anything new on yet this month. Actually, in theory, I shouldn't be able to cast anything on new from these or the hat, because neither of those were works in progress at the start of the year. But the next thing I'm going to show you was a whip. It was a work in progress at the start of the year, which means that now I've finished it, I am allowed to cast something new on, but I just haven't yet. Okay, so, and it is Louis the Owl. Finally finished. This was supposed to be a Christmas present. I started it in July, Christmas in July, and then I left it for a while, and then I was working on it in December, and if I'm honest, I was really procrastinating. I was so worried that his head wasn't going to sit, I wasn't going to sew his head on very well, but I'm actually quite pleased with how his head's come together. I've used safety buttons, safety eyes even, rather than buttons for his eyes, because he is going to a little girl who is only 2. He has got lovely little trousers, cable joggers with a contrasting cuff. Now, he shouldn't have had contrasting ribbing, and that contrasting ribbing matches his little jumper. I'd only got one ball of this colour, this sort of teal, and I had finished one leg and I'd run out of yarn basically, so I pulled back the ribbing off of there and used that to finish the teal, and then put the white ribbing on the bottom instead, which I think is fine because it goes well with his jumper. He has little buttons on the back there of his trousers. He has a gorgeous yellow duffel coat with toggles. And if we take off, oh, and look, fabulous hood. Okay. And then if we take off his duffel coat for a second, I'll only half take it off, you can see he's got buttons on the back, and I matched the colour of the buttons to go with his duffel coat. So really pleased with him. I know the little girl, who my great niece, is going to absolutely love him. I am sorry that this is a late Christmas present, but I was going to do some shoes for him, but I've just reached the point where I just want to get him posted down to little Bryony. Oops, let me just, there we go. So yeah, so now you guys have seen him. He will get posted. I just love all the little details on the clothes as well. This pattern, Louis the Owl, comes from a book called Knitted Animal Friends by Louise Crowther. I have shown it on the podcast before. I was just having a quick glance because I wasn't sure if the book was still down here, but I can't see it. So that is going to get posted this week. I've got a few things to take to the post office this weekend. I still haven't taken my mum's fingerless gloves. They need posting. And also the winner of the prize from last time, she has been in contact with me. Royal Mail had a bit of a difficult time with overseas deliveries, so I've been waiting till the overseas deliveries have kind of cleared a little bit, so I will be getting that posted this week as well. Okay, so yeah, there's my 3 finished objects. Now, Louis the Owl was a work in progress, and those of you who are regular viewers, you will know that the first, certainly 3 months of this year, so that's January, February, March, I'm really been aiming on trying to finish off as many as I can of the 16, 17 whips that I started the year with. Definitely, I said I'll do it for the first 3 months. I'm actually now thinking, well, probably 6 months, as long as it takes maybe to get through them all. So that make along, if you would like to join in with that, we have a Ravelry chatter thread on the Ravelry forums, which is linked in the details below. And there's quite a lot of people now chatting on there, which is brilliant. We also have a finished objects thread on there as well, so when you have completed a finished object, you can post it in there, and I will be drawing prizes from there as well. I think there are currently about 45 finished objects in the finished objects thread. I am definitely going to be pulling a prize out of there in the next podcast, episode 50. We will draw a prize from the finished objects thread from the whip giveaway, and also I will be announcing a podcast giveaway as well. So if you are a regular viewer of the podcast, well, you have to be a regular viewer if you want to know about that, that will be in episode 50. So I will definitely be drawing a prize winner out of the Ravelry thread. I will have a quick look on Instagram as well and see if there's anybody who has posted something on Instagram using the hashtag Crack the Whip Mal 2023 that hasn't added that onto Ravelry. So if you've got something that's on Instagram and it's not on Ravelry, it'd be great as well actually if you could just give me a heads up that it's there, but I will try and find those and try and make sure that they are included into that giveaway next podcast. I hope that makes some sense. Right, okay, so what else? Not quite a finished object. So I am really working hard though on whips. One of my other whips that I have got a definite deadline of finishing this year is a blanket that I'm knitting for my parents-in-law. One of my viewers, Rosemary, actually left a comment last time saying, what do you do with all your blankets? They get used, to be honest. I mean, I've got one on the back of the sofa here. And actually, if I do get cold down here, I sometimes put it over my lap or wrap it around me. I have, let me think, eldest daughter has one of my crochet blankets at her house. My mum and dad have got a crochet blanket that I made for them. My mum uses it. I think it stays in the caravan quite a bit, but I think also my mum uses it when she's at markets and things like that and it's cold. She has it over her lap when she's sat down. This blanket that I'm about to talk about is going to be going to my parents-in-law, so I'm hoping they will use it. And then I have a couple on the sofas. We have 2 sofas in our, well actually we've got 3. We've got 2 sofas in the living room, and we also have another sofa in our extension area. So there's always at least 1 or 2 blankets on the back of those sofas. So again, if it gets a little bit cold, just put it down over my legs, things like that. So yeah, blankets get used in this house, which is really good. Anyway, so the Stitch on Sunday blanket is the one that I am doing for my parents-in-law, and this basically is different squares, all with lace patterns. The designer is Kelly Menzies, also known as Roro and Cades, and this was blanket square number 18. There are 40 to do. I am currently trying to do one every weekend. I haven't yet done today's. So this weekend's pattern will be number 19. I plan to do that this evening, and as I say, I'm off this week, so if I don't get it all finished today, because they usually take between 3 or 4 hours, so if I don't get it all finished this evening, I will be working on that, finishing it off in the next couple of days. I really like this pattern. So it's pattern number 18. The pattern is available on Kelly's blog, on her website. So if you go to roroandcades.com, the pattern is available on there. Really, really like that the square, and it was really quick to knit as well. So that will go in the bag. I am knitting these squares with Stylecraft Special DK, which is a really good soft hard wearing acrylic, which is really good for people who are not particularly, you know, knitters or crocheters themselves, and they can just throw it in the washing machine. This shade is Meadow, which is 1065. So I'm using 5 different colours for the blanket. And I keep saying a lot today, so I need to take those back up to the house with me. But that will go into the bag that's down here, which has got all the rest of the squares in. So I'll put that to one side. And another blanket that I am working on is is actually run by Stylecraft. It was a Stylecraft make-along last autumn. I did start on it at the right time, but then got busy doing other things. And it's the Cable Magoria blanket. And one of my goals for February, or for each month, is to complete another section. I haven't really done very much on this one yet, this section. Only done a few repeats of it. That's partly because I've been working really hard on another project, which I'll show you in a minute. So the aim should be to get this section completed by the end of February. So I've still got 3 weeks. No, not 3 weeks. It's the 12th today, 2.5 weeks. So that is going to need quite a lot of work doing on it, which will probably be from the second half of this week when I have finished. I'm going to show you a project that I hadn't planned to finish, but now I am hoping to get it finished this week. So when that is finished, this blanket strip will be worked on. So this is the Cable Magoria blanket. I absolutely love this colour. It is, behind me. It is in Stylecraft Highland Heathers, which is Aran weight. Each of the sections are cabled, hence the reason why it's called Cable Magoria. And yeah, the pattern is free on the Stylecraft website. It's a little bit tricky to find. You have to go to Knit Along section. You have to go to the Knit Alongs, but it is on there somewhere. And it's not on Ravelry. I can't seem to link my project to it on Ravelry. It doesn't seem to have been added onto there. I mean, if nobody else does, I'll do it. So I'll put in a progress keeper, but in theory, next time I see you, 2 weeks today, will be the 26th. So I won't necessarily, I was going to say in theory I'll have this finished by then, but not necessarily. As long as the plan is really to have it finished by the 28th anyway. So. Okay, so that's the Cable Magoria blanket. The designer for that is Stuart Hillard, who is a former contestant from the Great British Sewing Bee, I believe. So pop that back in here. As I say, not planning on working on that particularly till later in this week. and then working on it a lot just to try and get it finished by the end of the month. Okay. Good boy. Doggo is being good boy now. Right, so another blanket that I've been working on is the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart from Curious Handmade. Now my target for each month with this is to put in 4 colours each month. Excuse me, just and I'm not sure if I've even finished putting in 1 colour yet this month. Let me see. This is a good one for me to take to knitting groups though, or if I'm working on Zoom, if I'm on a meeting on Zoom or something like that. So, yeah, to be fair, I have put in nearly 2 colours already this month because I've just found my progress keeper. So there's my progress keeper. I was part way through that variegated one. So I've definitely put that colour in this month, and this one, I think I've only got 1 or 2 more rows left of this colour. This colourway was a mini that I bought. Let me just where's the ball gone? This colourway was a mini that I bought in a mystery mini bag from Vicky Brown Designs. Vicky Brown does mini clubs. It's beautiful actually, but yeah, I think I've got maybe 2 more rows in that. So then I've done 2, nearly done 2 colours. But I will be going to a knit group on Tuesday evening, so I may well take this to that. It's a good one to take because, as I say, most of it is stocking stitch in the round, so relatively straightforward. Let me show you how it's coming along though. I am about 50% of the way through it now. And I think the next colour, oh, I've got those over there. Anyway, so you'll have to wait and see. You have to wait to see till next time to see the next colours that are going in that. So I definitely need a bigger bag for it to go in. I think I said that last time. But on my to-do list this week, amongst lots of other things, is to have a sort out of my project bag. So when I do that, I shall be putting that into a bigger project bag. It might actually go into this project bag because I might have finished the item that's in here. So, although I have done some work on those other projects, the last week in particular really I focused very heavily on 2 projects. The first one is the cable crush hoodie. Now last time you saw this, I was up to here on the front, so I finished off the front. I was here on the back, so completed the back. I then seamed the shoulders together. I have done 1 full arm and half of the second arm. Now this is the cable crush hoodie, so it does need a hood. So I am hoping to get the hood of this done this week as well and actually have this item completely finished. So can you see the cables on it? So it is a cropped, a shortened, I think I did put in an extra repeat of cables though, so it wasn't really short on me. And it has kind of like bat wings. So although this arm looks like it's really short, the this part comes part way down my arm anyway, so it is the right length. You see this part actually, the ribbing on this is all down from the elbow. This design is by Knitatude. She has some lovely designs. I really like her whole aesthetic and her designs. I'm knitting this in Manos Maxima. I think I have used 6 skeins already. I think that will be skein number 7. It is a worsted weight yarn. I think I'm knitting it on 8mm needles or 7mm needles maybe. 7mm needles. I think it's supposed to be 6mm needles, but to get gauge I had to go up to 7mm, I think. So it's Manos de Uruguay. It is 100% merino wool. It is not superwash, so this really has got to be hand washed, so I'm going to have to be very careful with it. I think it could be very easy that this would end up being thrown in the washing machine and then it would be ruined, because this is not superwash wool. I've got 10 skeins of this. This I think is skein number 7. I will need at least one of these, I think, to do the hood. It's possible that it'll take 2. So I'm going to wind this one up this afternoon, because I've got a few other skeins that need winding. So I'm going to wind this up this afternoon. Hopefully finish the arm, maybe not today, because I've got the Stitch on Sunday square to do. But I'm hoping to get the hood of this finished this week, and in fact this whole, and then I think there is an eye cord to do to go in the hood as well, and then it'll be finished. Yay! And it's going to be really warm and snuggly. So my plan for February had been just to get the body done, but then I had planned to have the body done at the end of January. But now I've got this far with it, I'm really motivated and I want to finish it. And that will then mean I can cast on another garment if I want to. So that's been receiving a lot of work. And the other item that I didn't even expect to work on this month, I had planned to finish a pair of socks that I had completed the whole of the first sock, and it was just a vanilla sock pattern with patterned wool, patterned yarn. And my plan had been to finish that second sock, start and finish the second sock for it, before casting on another pair of socks for the housemates. But one of my lovely viewers, Margaret, has been nagging at me to finish a pair of socks that I started last year. And when you saw this last, it was only at the heel, and I have finished the whole of the first sock and started the second sock, and it's this one here. So when you saw this last, I think I'd finished the gusset actually. I was up to there. And this is a pattern that I'm designing myself. And again, I'd been procrastinating. And I can see why, because actually when I cast on the second sock, the instructions that I had written were not right. Okay, if I've moved position slightly, that is because the dog suddenly decided to go mad because there was a squirrel out there. I had to then let the dog out of the office. He knocked over the tripod. Yeah, carnage. You can hear him barking now. He's out in the garden. I might have to message my husband in a minute. Right, I was talking about this sock and I was saying that the instructions I had left myself for this pattern were not right. So I have cast on the second one somewhere. I have cast on the second one and I have been rewriting the pattern as I go. Now, by the time this episode goes up, so I have cast on the second one. By the time this episode goes up, I should have the testing for this open. But the pattern will not be ready for me to send out to any testers until Wednesday this week, which is the 15th of February. Because, as I say, it definitely wasn't right, and I'm making some changes, and I've still got to do quite a lot of maths for the other sizes. However, given myself that deadline, the aim is that the pattern will be ready for testing on the 15th of February. If you are interested in testing that pattern, it's got a lace pattern that runs down the middle and it has this ruffle cuff. If you're interested, but you can see I've done it as very much a shorty sock. if you're interested in testing it, then I will put a link below that will take you to Yarn Pond. I am going to run this test on Yarn Pond. That is a free website. You do have to create an account, but it's free. And then it just means that all the information about the test knit will be on there. You can, it's got like messages, you can message me, I can message you, but it also has like a forum as well where people, all the testers, can discuss any issues together. So yes, if you'd like to test knit it, then the link should be in the notes below. If you click on that link, it'll take you to Yarn Pond, and you'll need to, if you've not already got an account, you'll need to create an account. I'm looking for at least 6 testers. There'll be 3 sizes, so at least 2 for each size is the plan, maybe 3. So I am really pleased with it. Can you see the lace? It's actually, these are called the full steam ahead socks because it's using the same lace pattern as I used on the full steam ahead mittens, fingerless mitts that I designed last year. Or maybe the year before, I can't remember now. So anyway, yeah, I haven't released a pattern for ages, so it's all a little bit taking longer than, because I've got to get my head back into design. But again, I'm off this week, so this seemed like a good time to get it going. And these would make really cute little summer socks. I am definitely looking for testers. I would quite like some testers to do shorty version, and maybe then some testers to do a longer version, but perhaps without the frill. I don't know. We'll see. But it's got Eye of Partridge heel as well, and it is cuffed down. It is heel flap and gusset, and that is how it needs to be knitted because of the pattern, and that's how the way I would want it knitted. So yeah, if you're interested, then have a look at the link below and sign up. So that's another item that should be finished this month. So I'm doing really well, I feel. I will be casting on a second housemate sock. It will be a much plainer sock rather than the painted bricks sock. I think though I will be striping. So I have the Rosie's Moments yarn, and then this is the colour of the contrast that I'm going to use for the next pair. So yeah, it's Huntington Valley Yarns. Which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, so a fairly standard sock yarn. It is really soft, I will say that. It comes in 50-gram skeins. So the next one that I'm doing is in this beautiful blue. Sorry, I'm just looking. It comes in this beautiful blue, and this colourway is just called blue, 4921 blue. So I think the plan at the moment will be I will do the cuff in the blue, and then I'm going to stripe the leg all the way down with the blue and the pink. Probably stripe the foot as well. And I think it'll just be stripes, perhaps 4 rows of each, and then just stripe it down. I have got this much of the green left. I would probably going to say that I'm going to have probably about that much of the blue left, and the reason why I'm going to keep those is then when I get to, there's a couple of the housemates that have got bigger feet than the others, and will probably need a larger sock size, not just in length of the foot but the circumference as well. So I'm going to keep hold of the leftovers, because the bigger ones, they might then have the toe in the green or the blue. They might, so I'll use these potentially in potentially in the bigger sizes. So yeah, I think there's about 10 grams of that left, maybe not quite 10 grams. So yeah, those will get cast on. In theory, I won't cast them on until I've finished the second one of these, and I should have that finished this week. So yeah, I feel like I have been really productive in the 2 weeks since I saw you. I am hoping I'm going to be super productive this next week while I'm off. I mentioned that I'm taking part in the Mad Stash on which is on a Ravelry forum, which is all about keeping track of how much yardage you use and setting yourself a goal. It lasts for about 6 weeks, and setting yourself a target of meterage or yardage. It doesn't have to be for finished objects, but just how much you can knit in those 6 weeks. And I've set myself a target of 2,500 meters. So anything that I'm knitting now, I'm having to keep a track of how much yarn I'm using I'm trying to do it each day, or each section anyway. So trying to keep a track of how much yardage you've used, which I'm just doing by weighing. I've got a little set of scales, so before I start knitting something, I weigh how much of the skein or the ball of wool I've got left, and then just keep track, then weigh it again. Okay, so I've used 20 grams, so 20 grams of this weight yarn is this many meters. Makes sense to me. I have got plans to do a crochet basket. I think it's, what's it called? Just scrappy yarn basket, something like that. And it uses, apparently it's a real good yarn eater. And I'm going to go through my stash this week and pull out particularly anything that's anything that is heavy in cotton or linen content, because I think that will be particularly good for a basket to give it stiffness. You need to hold as many yarns together as you need to make it up to like super chunky weight yarn, and then I think you use a big needle, a big chunky like 8mm, 9mm needle, and create a basket. So I am planning on doing that, maybe doing that this week while I'm off as well, but I think that is going to use up quite a lot of yarn, which will be great, because I am trying to use up yarn, not use up all my yarn, that's certainly not going to happen ever. But certainly I want to try and use up quite a bit of yarn, and it will help towards the stash, and also it'd be nice to create one of those baskets. And I also thought if I've got enough to do more than one, then I might do one basket for me and a second one which might go in my pile of presents and gifts for this year that I'm trying to do, and then somebody could have a scrap basket as a gift if they wanted it. Okay, right, so I think I have finished. I think I've shown you everything. I've definitely shown you everything that I've been working on. And those are the next two kind of things that I'm planning on casting on. So I'm going to stop rambling and say thank you so much for watching. It has been nice to chat to you this afternoon. Yeah, if you like the video, please leave me a comment, and we will definitely be having some giveaways next month, not next month, next time, 2 weeks time. We will have a big giveaway for the 50th podcast, and we will have be pulling out a prize from the finished objects on the whip make along. Okay, so yeah, leave a comment below if you are joining in with the whip make along. Leave a comment below tell us what whips you're working on, how many whips you've got, or how many whips you've already completed this year. I think, how many have I completed now? 4 maybe? Don't know. Right, okay, happy knitting everybody. Thanks for joining me. Bye.